Hello my dear crystal lovers, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm AM and I am the founder of AVIUVI. So on September 23rd, 2022, we have the Autumn Equinox. If you don't know what an equinox is, it is the 2 days a year when the day and night are approximately the same length. One is in March and the other in September. Then we also have the solstices. One is in winter and the other one in summer. That marks the longest and the shortest day of the year. Equinoxes and solstices are part of our natural calendar here on planet Earth and have been celebrated all over the world long before we invented this modern calendar that we use today. It displays the cosmic clockwork of our experience here, the natural flow of time, and that's why we celebrate and honor it in our family. Although it is nice when you can do something special on this day, the transition from summer to autumn is of course an ongoing process. So I felt that it was a good time now to provide you with a few tips and ideas so that if you wish to celebrate the autumn equinox, there's room to prepare. To me, the time period around the autumn equinox is always very busy and very hands-on. Actually, from fall equinox and all up until the solstice, it has always been the busiest time for me. But there are a few ceremonies and activities that we practice to tune ourselves into this natural flow of time. Here in the north, humans depended on nature for survival, and especially the autumn was crucial to our very existence. This was a time for gathering, collecting, saving, preserving, and then later in history, harvesting and storing the crops for winter. In many ways, you feel these spirits of the past when you walk in nature here. All the hands that throughout time have gathered nutritious berries and roots and herbal medicine. They built strong shelters and collected natural fibers to keep warm during the cold, hard winter. It is this stretch right before we and nature go back into dormancy. It's therefore no surprise to me that this period of the year feels a little bit more hectic than others, even though my survival, of course, doesn't necessarily depend on it anymore. However, I've found that when I align with the natural rhythms instead of fighting against them, everything just flows much more effortlessly for me. One of the things that for me is extra amplified this time is, of course, crystals. And for autumn, it is mainly any crystal that relates to the physical world. I tend to reach for more grounding crystals such as smoky quartz and hematite, but also amber that we can find on the beaches here in Denmark. The crystals that I gravitate towards are the ones that celebrate the earth, the native stones, and the crystals that inspire, I guess, practicality. But I want to start off this vlogcast by talking about cleansing. Why would you do a cleanse, you might ask? Well, because this transition time is a way to spiritually, mentally, and physically realign yourself with the flow of nature. It is simply a natural time to release what you no longer want, preserve what you want to keep, and invite in what you want now in this stage of your life. Cleansing my crystals is something that I do 4 times a year, on the solstices and on the equinoxes. My preferred way of cleansing crystals is by washing them in salt water, letting them dry in the sun, and if it's possible, I leave them out on the ground during the day or outside overnight. On September 9th, there is a wonderful full moon, so this would be a great day to do a cleansing ceremony prior to the equinox. Other ways of cleansing is to simply clean your home. Again, this is something that can be done in preparation for the equinox. In my cleaning products, I sometimes add salt and sage and blow sage into all of the corners in my home. A personal cleansing ceremony for me would be treating myself to a sage and oil and salt scrub. But it is also the perfect time, in my opinion, to do a deep cleanse of my thought patterns and my habits and let go of anything that doesn't serve me anymore. Cleansing can be done in a number of different ways, but I always want to encourage you guys to do whatever feels really natural to you. Perhaps for you it is swimming in the ocean, cleaning up your diet, tidying up your clutter, going on a silent retreat, cutting off from social media, so whatever you feel like doing. Personally, I prefer very simple and practical activities that are easy for me to do. I'm much more about the everyday spirituality than the big elaborate ceremonies. But that's just my personal preference, and maybe it's completely different for you. Celebrating nature is, of course, one of the more obvious activities at this time. Again, it can be done in any scale that you prefer. I love collecting dried flowers and various symbols of harvest and abundance, and displaying the richness of nature in my home. Harvest is also a metaphor for inner work, so it's a great time to be mindful of what you've personally worked on and developed into, and a time to be grateful for the mental and spiritual harvest you can enjoy at this point in your life. And because it's a busy time, it's also a good idea to be mindful of sharing the surplus of your physical, mental, and spiritual harvest. It's a great time for bringing offerings to nature and gifts to others. It can be as physical as sharing your harvest, but it can also be kind words and compliments to others. Whether you have a garden or not, foraging is just a great activity in autumn. Not only do you get to see and experience nature at its most optimal, you also get to bring home the gifts from Mother Earth. In autumn, we forage a ton of blackberries that we freeze and we eat pretty much right up till the spring equinox. And preserving is also one of the more traditional and hands-on activities in autumn. I love making herbal salts for cooking and drying flowers for decoration and for ceremonies, and gathering seeds for next year. Nature is always an essential part of any type of spiritual practice, because the body is the spirit's natural vehicle in this life experience. Next time you're out in nature, try to be the awareness behind all of the sense perceptions. Listen to the stillness or the sounds, the views, the taste of the air, the different smells, and the sensations on your skin. The boundary of inner and outer completely subsides, and the illusion of separation dissolves. My last tip for you guys for the autumn equinox is to start a gratitude journal. Every morning, right when I wake up, I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for that morning. I have found that it starts off my day on a very positive vibration, because it tunes me into a mindset where I'm much more aware of what I'm grateful for during the day. And in my experience, gratitude is the vibration of manifesting effortlessly. It's one of those things where you might think that it's the other way around, kind of like, first show me what to be grateful for and then I'll be grateful. But actually it's the other way around. So the trick is that what you wish to manifest and what you're grateful for doesn't have to be related at all. So let's say that you want a new house. That doesn't mean that you have to convince yourself that you're grateful for your current housing situation at all. You could be grateful for anything as long as it feels authentic to you. And it could very well be the smallest things in life, like taking a deep breath, the smell of fresh air, morning coffee, a healthy body, quiet time to yourself, a nice encounter at the supermarket. It could be literally anything. The most important thing is that you get into the habit of being in gratitude. So that was a few tips for you guys today, mostly free tips, because of course I want to offer you guys who do not necessarily have the means to purchase crystals. I want you guys to know that of course this spiritual journey is completely free and you don't ever need anything. You always have at hand what you need at this current stage in your life. But of course, for me, crystals is my main tool of working with energies, of reminding myself of what I want my path to be, and I work with them every single day, all day long. But I definitely wanted to give you some free offerings too. And I hope you feel inspired to celebrate the autumn equinox of 2022. The equinoxes and the solstices really are very special days for us humans here on the earth. And if you enjoyed this vlogcast and would like more of this type of information, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It helps me to know what you guys want me to talk about, but it also helps others to find this content if that is what they're looking for. And I want to wish you the most amazing day with so much love to you and to yours.